Hello everybody and welcome back to Drawsome. Today we not only have a new prompt like we do every Tuesday, but I have a guest artist with me. No, well, not with me, but she's going to be doing a video as well for Drawsome this week. And it is Jen's wild about art. She is a really great artist. She does a lot of animal portraits and things of that nature, and she's just fabulous and a wonderful lady, and I just love her to bits. So today, once you're done here, I'm going to leave a link in the box below so you can check out her video on noses. Yes, you heard me right. We're going to be drawing noses today. So let's make sure I'm in screen here. Okay, good. And we're going to start drawing some noses. Now, I'm not much of an animal portraitist like she is. So I'm just going to stick with noses. What we all think of when we look in the mirror. And that's a nose. So we're going to just draw all different kinds. So my way of drawing a nose is very kind of simplistic. And you don't really have to use a lot of lines. It's more in the shading. So you just kind of make sure you put in the nostrils. And this, I have no idea what some of these things are called, like that little drop down into the lip, that part of the Cupid's bow. It is part of the nose, kind of, sort of, it's just under the nose. And people will do different things, like they'll shade underneath here, and they'll shade above that. So there's a basic nose. And like I said, it's more about the shading than it is anything else. But people have different types of noses. So you can't just, one nose does not fit all. Be nice, but no. It is, they do definitely give our faces some characteristic, you know, personalized characteristics. So you have people who have very large, lumpy noses. And kind of like that. I mean, there's just so many different. And drawing a nose from the side is, I think, most people's biggest, you know, hardship when it comes to drawing noses. And mine is always, where do you start the lips? We're not going to get into that today. I think somewhere during the year we might do mouths or lips or something along those lines. But when you are doing different types of noses, you just want to make sure that pay attention to the shape. Because everybody's is different. And the shading is different for all of them. So some people have very petite noses, other people have very bulbous noses. And to capture, I mean, if you get into making caricatures I think that's one of the first things you learn, is that the nose is very descriptive to that person. And there are artists out there that they don't start a picture until they've got the nose just right. And that's because the nose says so much about that particular person. Everybody's are different. It's pretty impressive how many different kinds there are. And the thing you have to realize too, your nose, because it sticks out away from your face, it bumps into things and can get hit and smacked by doors and people's fists and things like that. And you may start out with a nose with one shape and end up with something else. I had a car accident years ago and my face went through the windshield, and my nose kind of got a little misshapen. So I had to have surgery to make it look like a nose again. And it does, it looks the same way it did before, but oof, while it was healing, it did not look good. It was very oddly shaped. My whole face actually was. Now, that would be a normal adult nose, but you have like children's noses. And if you're gonna draw children's noses, they have a tendency to be turned up just a little bit, so you're gonna draw almost like a little bit of a bridge at the tip. They haven't really got their adult noses yet. And they're very shaded because they're very upturned and so cute. And this is, you know, how you would, if you were going to do something very realistic. But you know me, I'm a cartoonist, so I'm also going to show you how to do cartoon noses. And there are so many different kinds, it's just ridiculous when it comes to cartoon. Well, let's split this paper here. We're going to split this in half. This will be your realism, and then down here will be cartoon. So let's just do a few more realistic noses. I kind of like that one. I've got some references on my computer. And this one, it's a picture of a girl, and she has very upturned nostrils, but it's very straight. She has a very straight nose. And I know this looks messy, but this is because we're just sketching. We are just sketching. But what she has is a nose ring. And then this is all shadow. But that's the thing to remember about noses, is that if you were to try to draw these sides of these noses in, it would look so weird, because that's not what you're seeing. You are literally not seeing that. You are seeing the shadows casted by the, because the light hitting on one side or the other. That's what you see. You're not seeing a line. I know it looks like if you're looking at a picture, but if you're going to draw realism, you're going to put in the shadows, and that's what brings the foreground forward. Shadows push things back, light brings things forward. So that's why this looks like it does. It's like things being moved back and being moved forward. So if you put your all your values in, all your darkest values, it just brings things to the forefront. So let's see if we can't find something that's a little different. Oh, here's a good example. Move this over just a tad. Yeah, here we go. This girl's, it's a 3/4 view of a nose. And she has a very cute little petite nose. But what's interesting is that this here is all in shadow. And then you can see her eye off in the distance. But up until that point, it's all shadow. And that's what brings this forward so that you can see all the curves, and this is where that nuance comes on, you know, where you get, see how it's come forward? That's because this line here, it's not actually drawn in, it's just a shadow. Take a little bit of that off there. So you can literally see how that shadow is what depicts that she's turned, because the sun, light's coming from this way, and so you're gonna get that shadow, a pretty deep one too, actually. I guess it depends on your lighting. So this is where, you know, I'm saying you get those little lines that come down off of the mouth, you know, off the nose around the mouth, that show that you're smiling. You want to shade that in, because this cheek here is higher up and it's going to cause a shadow on that side of it. So I mean, we could keep going and make the whole face, but we're not going to do that. So cartoons, let's do cartoons. So if you're going to do cartoon noses can be, let's just draw a face, and you know that depending on where, you know, how you've divvied up your face, there's so many different ways. We're just going to put right in the smack in the middle. So you can do a circle, you can do, let's draw a bunch of these out. And this is just for a human cartoon. You can do a button nose, you can do just a little, almost like an upside down question mark. You can just do the nostrils. There's so many different ways. Let's see. You can do where it's just the bridge in the nose and the nostrils. You can do, let's see. See, Floof doesn't have a nose. You can actually do just like where it's like a little tiny, where you show the nostril. Oh sure, now I can draw ovals. Couldn't last week. Let's see. Now if you're gonna do animal faces, and these are cartoony. That would be like a little muzzle, or a little muzzle like that, but they connect back up. Let's see, yeah, these sometimes come this way. There's just so many different ways. This one, you can actually draw in the nostrils. You can do a pig. It's just, you see how, and there's not much to them. There's not a lot of detail. Not like when you're doing realism or even semi-realism. Some of this can be considered as semi-realism. Even then, there's a lot of different ways of doing it. Let me look up something that I don't normally do. Anime noses. Okay, well, here's one example. Now, anime, I guess anime could be construed somewhere in between. And we have that's quite interesting. It's kind of reminiscent of what we were talking about up here, where it's just, you're just denoting the different shapes. And let's see, they have where it comes out and then curves under. It has that little point. And let's see. Some of these look a lot alike. And then some just do that. Let's see. Straight onwards, you would have this is something I've drawn. This is almost like my go-to nose right here when I draw like girls or boys, doesn't matter, because it's very unisex. You can use it for either or. Let's see. What else did they show? Oh, I'm just looking for noses, folks. I don't need the whole business. I'm trying to learn how to draw all the anime. Oh my goodness. Not eyes. Not feet. Oh, here's a good one. Oh my goodness. There are that's interesting. That would be a very bulbous nose. But you can see how just the lines themselves are. It really gives you an idea of different types. My gosh, I think this is the most we've done ever. Look at all these different types. This is crazy. But you know, you could take something like this as just your base sketch, and you could build on it to make it more realistic just by using the shadows and filling in more of the details very easily. It's quite interesting how versatile, quite versatile, that trying to make sure I'm staying inside the frame. That just the sketching it alone can bring you, you know, all different types of looks here. I literally draw mine like this whenever I draw even realistic. I always shadow under here. And make those dark. So there we go. All different shapes and sizes and types of noses you could possibly think of. Let's see. Because this is my go-to nose. I mean, you can just go crazy with this. I mean, this really literally is just however you want to draw things. So there you go, folks. All types of noses. And if you have any questions about this, please feel free to leave a comment in the box below. And for last week's, we had 3 different people who followed along with drawing teacups. That was our prompt last week. And I really want to thank Melody Ross Art, Positively Amina, and Web Light Dreams. So thank you guys. You guys did an amazing job. Your pictures will be up here right now. And they just came out great. I really appreciate it. So let's see some noses out of everybody. Let's see what you can do with this. I am really curious, and I can't wait to see what everybody comes up with. So until then, I will see you in Friday's video. Make sure you stick around for that. Please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more stuff like this. And every Tuesday for Drawsome. And until then, I love you bunches. Bye.